Hey guys, Vern's here with a round 7 SuperCoach review. Massive round. Lots and lots of high scores there. I think we made some good trades this week. We could have made better ones, potentially. I'll need to look at the numbers and see how we went, but huge score, big week of footy. It was some really great games out there, which I think really elevated the scores because so many close games means a lot of scaling coming into the end of those games, and that's when the big players step up and they really push those scores. Such as Lachie Neale. He had a massive, massive final half to get a massive, I think, round highest score. I think it was 187 or so, which was against Swans too, who usually are very, very good at keeping that down. So, yeah, it was a massive round, lots of massive scores. Yeah, let's just see how we went. So, 2,400, 58. Kind of a subpar score this round, I felt. I felt like there was definitely potential to be getting higher, and we just didn't quite get there, unfortunately. We went up 28 positions, so basically stayed where we were, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, considering how big the round was, there was a lot of leeway for fluctuation in rankings. Just picking up a 2200 this round or so would have really dropped you down those rankings, unfortunately. If you got a 26, 2700, you would have gone massively up, so there was a lot of variance this round. So I'm not too unhappy with the score. It could have been worse, but I think that we could have also had a better week as well, which is a bit unfortunate. Once again, another big week to, sort of pay back all those people that held on to Cripps. Another massive game from him. Gorn came out with a massive game. Oliver didn't quite put out the numbers he wanted, especially with his 48-point first quarter to only finish on a 119. He barely doubled it. I mean, doubling it from 60 to 119 basically, and he was at 48 at the quarter, so we wanted a bit better than that. Didn't quite get it, unfortunately. We knew Gorn was going to have a big week. Obviously, a lot of things changed with the Brody Grundy out. Originally we had planned an upgrade, but with the Grundy out, it ended up being sort of a sideways. We still ended up getting an upgrade, even with that sideways, which was Luke Parker. So that came in pretty big with us because I think he got a 156, so a massive score there. He had a break even of like 50, so it actually went really well bringing in Luke Parker. So, yeah, we'll go over it and we'll talk about what we did there. But, yeah, big week overall for everyone, honestly. So, let's jump on in. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the individual players. I feel like that eats up a lot of time. And, look, a lot of you probably see the game. You don't need to hear me ramble about the individual players. Look, Crisp, Pendleby played great. Crisp was a little bit slow. He kicked the goal towards the end and helped bring himself up to a 103. So awesome. Pendles was really good, really active. He picks up so many cheap disposals, and he also sort of jumps into the midfield at the halftime. He sort of switches. We start off with Lipinski in there, and then it feels like when we hit the second half, Lipinski goes forward, Nick Dacos goes from the forward line to the back line, and then Pendlebury goes from the back line into the midfield. Or, Chris also swings into the back line too, and Pendlebury moves up, things like that. We have a lot of people going through that mid, and Pendlebury plays a lot of that second half in the mid, and 115, big score from him. Short started the week massive, 152. I mean, if that wasn't a sign this was going to be a big week, then I don't know what is. So huge score from him. Our defenders are looking pretty good. Dawson only in the 94, unfortunate. He kind of scraped through on that. He was very low again and then had a big fourth quarter to sort of get there, so we'll take that. Nick Dacos, 75. Not bad. We'll take that from our rookies. O'Driscoll, 57. That was a bit low, especially with DeConning getting the 77. I actually really wanted to swing DeConning on field somehow, but I think the only way I get DeConning on field is if I got Nick Martin to the bench, and that actually wouldn't have paid out. So ended up working out, I guess, in that retrospect, but we did miss DeConning's score, unfortunately, and we had the McCartan loop available. I just thought that Nick Dacos honestly could put out that at minimum, and that's sort of what he did, so only really 2 points lost there for that position. Otherwise, I would have switched Nick Dacos with Hewitt, and then I would have switched Nick Martin with like a Butters or a Parker, and then I would have moved Nick Dacos on field and Martin on the bench. So it actually worked out in that retrospect. We had McRae had a really down game, so for a lot of people that captained him, we at least didn't ride that. I know we were talking about doing the Oliver into McRae because they're going to Essendon, but I honestly thought nobody can stop Took in Collingwood. Like, honestly, we do leak points in our midfield, and I felt like we're not going to do anything about Took. Took is probably just going to run rampant on the team, and we're just going to let him do that, and we're just going to play our game. And that's sort of what happened. We played our game. We won the game. We played great footy, but Took dropped to 160. Had 38 or so disposals, went massive. And that was perfect for me. I wanted Collingwood to win, and I wanted Took to get a massive score, so it really worked out, actually. Neil also, the 187, massive. He really is back. A 140 average. That is bonkers. Like, crazy from that man. If anyone had the C on him after Oliver didn't fall through, then crazy. So this is where I'm going to talk about the trades, just because we got Oliver here as well. The 119 from Oliver. Honestly, what happened here was when Grundy got moved out, I had a decision to make. Do I bring in Grundy do I bring in Gawn or do I bring in Oliver? The difference was Oliver was about 40k cheaper, and I felt like it was better to have Sam Hayes on the field. I think it's Sam Hayes, that's his name, but Hayes on the field from Port. I thought he would honestly get about probably 70 minimum, 70 to 80 range, where if I brought in Gawn, because of the way Dixon would float down, then I'd have to field a Dixon or a Durden or a Rosa, and I felt like they were much closer to that sort of 45, 55 range, which is actually what they put out. So I was pretty right on what they would score. I just thought Hayes would get a much bigger score than that. I also thought Oliver had the potential of dropping a 200, considering, I guess Mills did it last week on Hawthorn. I think the big thing here really was that nobody could stop Gawn, and I knew no one could stop Gawn, and I knew Gawn could drop a 170. I just thought, worst case scenario, Oliver was dropping a 140. So then the Hayes on field over a Durden or Dixon would, that's probably 20 to 30 points there. And even if Oliver got outscored by 30 points at a worst case scenario, at least I thought it was a worst case scenario, then that would be fine. And I thought because of him with the low break even, it would make us more money in the meantime, and we can always focus Gawn later on. So I thought that was my process of thinking why I wanted to do this at the end of the day over Gawn. I did know he would go massive. I kept telling my friends, Gawn's going 170 minimum. But I believe in Oliver to get close enough to that. And I think he even has the potential to push a 200 in best case scenario. Unfortunately, Oliver didn't really get close to that. He had, as I said, massive first quarter, 48 points. To finish only 70 points higher feels kind of bad, honestly. He did take the Patrick Naish, so Patrick Naish went to him in the second quarter to slow him down, only had a 20-point next quarter, and then I think a 20-point quarter after that, and I think Naish was a big reason that Oliver didn't get out of hand. He actually had a pretty decent final quarter to get him to this 120, because he wasn't even looking on track for that, so I guess that's the positive. He at least got to 120, but a bit unfortunate that we didn't end up going the Gawn route. Saying that, if we did go the Gawn route, 40k more expensive, you can see we have 18k in the bank. It means that we couldn't get in my man, Luke Parker, who dropped the 150. Meaning, if we didn't get Luke Parker on the field, we would have probably held the money that we had, which would have been like 300k. We would have ended up playing a Durden or a Dixon. Let's just say Durden comes through with the 57. Then, that's still 90 points difference that Luke Parker had. So even though, let's see, Oliver got outscored by 53. Yeah, 53. I'm pretty sure Gawn got a 172. So he got outscored by 53. Even if we put the captaincy on him, it's only 12 extra points, so 65 extra points. But then Luke Parker outscoring one of these guys by a good 90 so points, it actually means that we did get more points on field going this route than going the Gawn route. So, hindsight 2020, I think we made the correct play. And with Luke Parker's break even of only 50, how much money did he go up from that? He went massive, 43 extra K. Oh, feels good. That was a good trade to get, actually. So yeah, Oliver went great. Well, didn't go great. Oliver did okay. Miller, massive, and then Luke Parker came with a massive game as well. He was tracking so well. I think he was a good 72 or so at halftime, and I'm like, man, this is a great trade. And same with Heaney, who unfortunately didn't really have a good second half, but Parker really followed through and really rewarded me for that trade, and so super happy with that outcome. Butters 89, not great, but I say not great, but considering he's been dropping 50s, it's like a 130 or a 50. To hit this sort of middle ground there, I guess this is all right. We'll take this if this is, if his floor stays a bit more closer to this. Cardwell 70, he scraped through. He wasn't looking good, actually. I think it was like the third quarter, and he's only like 38 points. I'm like, man, this guy, he's not going to get there. But he got to 70, which feels good. Barry 48. Terrible. I don't know what happened. The man was 36 at halftime, and I'm sitting there. I didn't see this game. I was chilling with my missus. So unfortunately, I don't know what happened in that second half. If he took some sort of injury or something, wouldn't be surprised with Berry. Either way, we're going to move him on this week. But basically, 36 points halftime. I think 38 points at halftime. Sorry. And I'm looking at a few of my leagues, thinking he needs to get to 80. I think it was okay. I say 80. If he gets to 80, I've won. But I think like 74 was sort of the best case scenario. If he got to 74, I won like 3 extra leagues. The man dropped 10 in the second half, and we lost a few of them, which kind of sucks. Especially since I think Berry's a bit of a pod these days. I think a lot of people have moved him on already. Only 14% of teams still have him. He's coming into West Coast as well, but I've got to move him on. He's broken his break even. What was his break even at now? 86. And look, he's at that price point where he needs to go anyway. I think he's the good one to go for my upgrades. Hewitt was out injured, unfortunately. Ward was also omitted. Kind of unfortunate to bring him in, 2 weeks ago, and then he gets omitted. Maybe 3 weeks. Oh, maybe 3? I think 3 weeks ago, actually, that we brought him in. So that's okay. Look, it's okay. And look, I guess the other positive here is that we got an upgrade this week in Luke Parker. As I talked about with my trades, I would have been going to Oliver as an upgrade and keeping Grundy, but since Grundy's out injured, we had to move on Grundy, and then we went to Oliver, meaning that we only got, what kind of sucked, a sideways trade. And then I was sitting on 300 for a double upgrade next week to make up for it. But because of Cherry being out, we end up upgrading him to Luke Parker with the extra 100k he had over McCartan, and then boom, Parker comes out with a great score, earns us a lot more points on field, went up in price, and he's definitely looking to be a keeps. So here's a forward keeper, which is awesome. Parker's someone I've really enjoyed, and I used to have, I think 2 seasons ago, and I always pick him up in draft because I think people don't value him enough, but he's been really, really good for me personally over the last couple of years. So I was really happy to honestly get him in my side, and then for him to drop a 150 in his debut week for me, awesome, amazing. So if we're looking at sort of forward keepers, we'll get down here quickly. Dunkley, another amazing game, played a lot more on the ball. Heaney, honestly, 103. I'm very happy with that, honestly. We all know Heaney has the floor where he can drop a 60, so if he's dropping 103s around that score consistently, awesome. Brody had a bit of a down week. Brody, I don't think's a forward keeper because we know when Fife comes back, his on-ball time is going to drop potentially. He's probably going to get more forward time. At least that's what I'm thinking will happen. I don't know if they play Brayshaw a bit on the wing because I think Brody needs to play inside, unfortunately. But I think Brody may not be a keeper. He may be someone we flip at the buys because Fife's going to really hurt his average, I think, when he gets back. Caniglio, another great score. Lipinski, 97. Not bad, kind of annoying. He was at 68 at halftime, so he needed a 31-point final half. But that did change because he was on ball the start. And then, as I mentioned, second half comes in, Pendleby goes into the middle, and Lipinski goes into the forward line. So he's not on the ball, so he's not in a SuperCoach friendly role, and that's why he had a small second half. Saying that, he gives away, it's very annoying, but he gives away some bad free kicks. He definitely does. He just has clumsy free kicks. Sometimes somewhere I just don't think he's aware of his surroundings. So many times he gets holding the ball. There was a time I think Ferreira, I think his name is, from Gold Coast. I don't know. I probably botched that, but he Lipinski got it in so much space, had a good 5 seconds to make his decision on the kick, and then really took his time to make that kick and got nailed in a tackle before he could dispose of it and got holding the ball, which really sucked. And that was at the start of the game when he got a lot of his points. So when scaling probably comes into effect from the start of his game, it did really hurt for him to have, I think, like 2 or 3 clumsy free kicks and a few clangers where he just like had really bad connection with his boot. So honestly, 97 really sucked because he was playing well enough that he should have been pushing a 120, I think, in this game, and just didn't quite follow through with it. I think the man should have been pushing like 75 in like the first quarter alone if he connected all of his goods. I'm pretty sure he missed a goal, and that could have been really big for him in the first quarter. He also had that play where he got tackled in the first quarter and gave away the free kick. He could have been having a 70-point first quarter. I think he had a 48-point first quarter, so he was really on track to tear up this game and didn't quite get there. As I said, I actually really like what Lipinski does in the sense that he really spreads well from the contest, and he's always that next pass away, but there's a lot of time we go down the line or bomb it long rather than making that extra pass to him. But if he's going to take that long to make a decision and end up getting tackled in the process and turning it over, I understand why. But honestly, he played good. I think he plays a lot like McRae in the sense that he's always that one extra hand pass away, and he's a good disposal user. The difference is Dogs give McRae the ball a lot more in those positions where we aren't rewarding Lipinski for his hard running to get to those positions. And I don't know if we will. I don't know if that's going to be something we bring into our style. But if we do, Lipinski needs to clean up some of those kicks and some of those decision makes, and he needs to be faster at them too. But honestly, I was pretty happy with him this week. And then Nick Martin, a 106, massive. Dude was having an insane start to the game. And yeah, 106 is awesome. Yeah, and then Durden and Roses, whatever. These guys are slow burns on the bench still. Keep doing what they do. Awesome. So, yeah, let's see. What else do we want to discuss? We had a really big week for SuperCoach players. So I just wanted to sort of talk about some of the numbers that went out there. So Tom Stewart at 187, insane. Max Gorn got his 172. Lynch at 167, but I don't think really anyone owns Lynch. So I think, yeah, Neil is very highly owned, obviously. Stewart's 19% owned, and then Max Gorn's 47% owned. So if you guys had, like, those three in your team, and one of them, I did see someone in one of my leagues actually have Tom Stewart as vice captain, so crazy. I actually think really smart. I did mention that I would have done this week with North heading into Freo, because Freo kicked the most behinds in the league, the most inaccurate team. Anyone that takes a monopoly of kickouts, when they play Freo, if Freo end up kicking their 15 or 20 behinds that they do, because they're playing well and they're owning the ball, they're just kicking a ton of behinds, then whoever gets those monopoly of kickouts just gets a massive score by default because they're getting so many kickouts. So I think it's actually a pretty smart decision to make Tom Stewart his vice, and they got very rewarded at 187. Oh, massive. So yes, you guys are running those three. Huge week. I think a lot of people have Took as well at 160. Jaden Short 152. So really big week for a lot of people. I'm pretty sure top score this week was like 2,800 or something. Massive. That's the sort of stuff we're usually looking at the end of the season when you have full premium teams. But that just shows how well these premiums are playing. So yeah, crazy week. Cripps as owners got definitely rewarded. Witzel owners got rewarded as well. People LeBron Petrarca got rewarded this week. He had a good bounce back. Walsh had a decent game. So, yeah, big week, big scores. Would have felt good for a lot of people. Now, what I wanted to do this week originally when I had 300k in the bank was bring in Brayshaw and Keys. But obviously I don't have the money for that. We're going to be moving Berry on. I'm pretty sure we're going to move Cordwell on to 77 break even. Is coming into Hawthorn though. But I think we do have to move Berry, unfortunately. Saying that, we're going to be bringing in Brayshaw. Brayshaw's run's insane, so Freo's next three should be North, Gold Coast, and Collingwood. Oof. Now, those are teams that leak points to the midfielders. So, Brayshaw's coming in for a big 3 weeks, and then even Hawks before his bye. So, and he has round 14 bye as well, which is good. As I mentioned, I want to overload that bye and then flip people at the buys. I'm thinking I'll flip Dacos at that buy if I still have Brody, and then depending on Lipinski's performance, he may get flipped then. But yeah, definitely want to overload that back end buy. That's another reason Oliver was a great pickup for us. Unfortunately, Gorn would have also filled that category, but yeah, things worked out anyway. So that's my strategy looking at the buys at the moment. Overload that final buy. So Keys doesn't really fit that, and Keys and Adelaide's run after the bye is really good. So I think Keys might be someone that I bring in after his round 13 bye. He may be someone that I flip like a Brody to a Keys if I've got, because I've got 7 forwards at the moment. So it's probably going to be a forward getting flipped to a midfielder. Kellen Mills obviously looking amazing too. Had another massive week, went up another 45k. The man's almost 700k. Whew, if you brought him in 2 weeks ago for some reason, you are smashing it now. So yeah, sorry, just something I guess I wanted to bring up, because someone else that I did like at the start of the season, but obviously didn't get. So we'll jump into these trades. What will we do? We're definitely getting rid of Berry. He is done. He has cooked his goose. Dixon could be done too, 47. But he is good cover for if Hayes and Proust don't play. So if I move him out, I have to bring in a playing ruck. Is Begg a ruck? I don't even know if Begg's a ruck from Collingwood. And I'm pretty sure he only scored like 40 anyway, so not really worth it. I don't really want to touch these forwards. They all look amazing. Durden's going down in price. Cardwell's really the only one I'm looking at here. DeConning's really got his cash gen going, actually. Yeah, good break even of 1. He's going to keep going. McCartan. Could be someone they keep for a bit longer. I don't think they plan on bringing him back straight away. They said they don't plan on rushing him in. So, and then Ward. I want to keep playing Ward, honestly. I just don't know if I have the money to get rid of Ward. Yeah, I think we have to move Cardwell as well here. I think we're better off. No, okay, we'll figure out that switch in a minute. But we'll definitely bring in Brayshaw. Let's look at some break-evens and see what we've got looking here. Oh, Greg Clark. Of course we have to bring in Greg Clark. He was unbelievable. Anyone who had him with the 104, one of my mates I was versing in my league ended up bringing him in early and had an emergency on him. Got the free loop with the Ward as well, so got 104 off the Greg Clark. Amazing for him. Bit sad for me because I lost that league by very little points, so but oh well. So Greg Clark's a very easy pickup here. Now, the big question here is we have 3 boosts left. We have quite a lot of boosts. We could very much look to use the boost to make another downgrade and then maybe try and double upgrade next week, but I don't know about that. I think the other thing I could be looking at with these boosts is I'll definitely think I'll use one in round 4 when I talk about flipping, in round 14 when I talk about flipping Dacos and Brody and potentially Lipinski and maybe someone else. I think the boost will be good then. Maybe I'll use it in another buy as well, maybe round 13 buy, and then I can have one for safety, depending on the end of the season. Because at the end of the day, as much as I'm not playing for leagues, I still like to win them. So I don't want to get to, round 22 and have 3 people out or get injured for the rest of the season and not be able to win the final or anything like that. So I don't mind holding one for then, but I would like to use it aggressively. Now, I just don't think I think if I use it aggressively now, there's nothing for me to really gain, honestly. So if I was like, let's just say, example purposes, I'm just going to quickly activate the boost. Very easy to activate those, very easy to use. Let's just say we got rid of McCartan. Who in the back line would I even want? Never should have got rid of Gibkiss. Oh my goodness, Gibkiss is money. I wish I moved on bloody McCartan instead of Gibkiss. Such a sag. Oh well, made mistakes. John Noble, good game. Got up some money. Yeah, no one we're looking at here. Perez was someone I would have brought in, and I'm glad I didn't because I ended up bringing in Luke Parker instead. Much, much better outcome. Yeah, no one here. Let's just swing Hewitt back there so we can see who's in the middle. Yeah, Carroll actually had a really good game with Hewitt out, so he may be able to hold his position. I think we keep him for the bubble because we don't know if he's going to keep playing, so definitely a bubble for him. Let's just move Nick Martin back, and Curtis. Not really one I'm hot on. And Rioli also had a really big game too, so I think we wait an extra week, and if we end up using our boost next week to double downgrade to make sure we get Rioli and Carroll if they're both available, I think that's the better option. And then we can make an upgrade elsewhere. So I think that's actually the play looking forward. We will cancel our power play for this week, so we won't be using one, but I think this is a nice simple play for us. We do have Greg Clark on field currently. I think if we either way we do it, we probably are looking at playing O'Driscoll on field anyway. I think we can put the emergency on O'Driscoll because he's got that Friday night game, and then if Ward or McDonald don't play, we can flip him onto the field. But other than that, I think Greg Clark comes on just because he's actually good. Durden or Rosa. Don't think Rosa in there. Durden, yeah, I think Durden's probably better off as the emergency. DeConning. We won't be able to loop him because of McCartan playing first. And Dacos playing first, so I think we just accept this as it is. If Hewitt is back, of course. If Hewitt is not back, I will make the switch like this. If Dacos has a terrible game, we will then look at switching. Oh no, we won't even be able to do that because O'Driscoll will already be out. So I mean, I could have O'Driscoll on field. Yeah, so if Hewitt doesn't play, we have O'Driscoll on field. We have O'Driscoll as the loop. And then if O'Driscoll plays terribly, we leave it how it is. If he plays well, we switch like that, and then we throw Dacos on field like that. Yeah, that's not bad. Well, we don't even need to throw him. If once again Ward's still out, we can throw Dacos down there. Use Ward as a loop with Clark if we need. Yeah, that works. We can use Ward as a loop with Clark. I'd assume Dacos have a good game, but never know. Yeah, it's not going to work for looping anyone down there. We could technically also do this. No, they play at the same time, so what, he has a good game. I'm going to switch him with Ward and then play Gord Clark. Nah, we're definitely playing Nick Martin. Nick Martin's too good. It's way too good. Yeah, I think that's much better. That's a good lineup. That's a good lineup. I'm happy with how that goes, assuming, obviously, if Hewitt's still out. I'm assuming Hewitt will probably be back. He was unlucky to not get up this week, I think. I'm pretty sure he was expected to play right up until he wasn't, which was like right before the game. So Hewitt will be out. Assuming Hewitt, Hewitt will be back in. So assuming Hewitt's back in, if McCartan's not back in, if McCartan is actually still out, then I could use that to loop O'Driscoll anyway, so that works as well. If McCartan is back, then I probably just play O'Driscoll on field over DeConning. And assuming if Ward's back, I'll play Dacos on field over Clark. But if Ward is still out, we might as well use the loop while we have it. Why not? Yeah, awesome. Looks good, looks good. Finally, we've just got captains here. I would love to put a VC on a Freo player. Port have actually played really well the last 2 weeks, so I don't even know if Dogs are going to beat them as well at Adelaide Oval. Going to be a hard game. As I said, this is the game I would have VC'd Hall, because he's going to get the monopoly of kickouts, but obviously he's not playing. And even if he's back, I'm not bringing him in. So Brayshaw could be a cheeky VC here for us. Yes, Neil dropped a massive score in Sydney, but I don't see that happening with Miller. He'll probably get a... No, it maybe. What do we have? We have Saints into Oliver as well. It's actually a pretty hard one for me to pick, if I've got to be honest here. Like Parker, maybe. No, Parker's too much of a fluctuation. That's way too much betting. Oh, my goodness. Brisbane into West Coast at the Gabba. I see it now, guys. I see it. Yeah, we're going to do it like this. We're going to put our bets on the Andy Brayshaw, and we're going to run Neil. I know Andy Brayshaw had a down game this week, but his run is way too good in the next few weeks, and we know he scored. The 77 is the lowest he's had all season. He's popped out of 189 as well. He's got a huge, huge ceiling. Yeah, I mean, let's just look at this real quickly. Look at that. Like, if you looked at these first few rounds, 123 average, yeah, I would have been very happy to start Andy B, especially at his price. Unfortunately, we're getting him in now. His break-even is going to be a little bit high because that's 77, but I think there is potential that he could actually meet it against North, and I think he'll just be good value in these next 3 weeks. So, yes, they're my trades. That's how I'm going into the week. Team is looking good. My trade-ins are doing great. Yeah, Luke Parker, great trade-in. Pendleby, great trade-in. Oliver, wanted a bit more, but that's okay. Heaney was a good trade-in too. Hewitt, we eventually got there. So, yeah. Good looking team, guys. Wish me luck next week. I hope all of your weeks went really well. Once again, another massive shout out to all those that keep watching these videos. And, if you watch through to the end, I really appreciate that. And all those that have subscribed, once again, it had a really big subscriber jump from my video 2 weeks ago. That was a nice video. Oh, yes, I did actually come back positive with COVID as well. So, sorry for last week's video. I was feeling a bit down, but I'm doing much better now. Still positive, so unfortunately can't leave the house. But I am doing well, and if you can probably hear the coughing in the background, that's my partner, also with COVID. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and hope to see you next week. Peace later. Love y'all.